Here we have two fractions problems. The first one is 1/3 plus 3/4. So let's go about solving this. The first issue to note is that the denominators are not the same, and so we have an immediate issue there. What we can do is try to see if one denominator will go into the other evenly. 3 will not go into 4, and 4 certainly doesn't go into 3, so that we end up with a whole number, so we can forget about that. So the next step, when none of that works, is we can always use this approach, no matter what the denominators are, and that is to multiply the two denominators. So in this case, 3 times 4. And essentially we use that to rename each of the fractions. So 1/3 is so many twelfths, and 3/4 is going to be so many twelfths. So the 12 comes from 3 times 4, right? So that's where the denominators have come from, the 12 and the 12. So what comes next? Well, what does come next is that we have to find numerators for each of these fractions. So this denominator has become this denominator, okay, but we need this numerator to become a new numerator. And the same for this side. This denominator has become this denominator, and this numerator needs to become a new denominator. Okay, so we're dealing with twelfths now. Now the easiest way to do this is to start with this number, multiply, right, by this number, and drop the answer down. So 4 times 1 is 4. And then we do the same on the other side. So we take this number, the denominator, multiply by the numerator, and then we drop the answer down. So 3 times 3 is 9. And now we're nearly ready to solve. We know that we're dealing with twelfths, so let's put the twelfths in the answer. 4 times 9, that's 13. And we can rename that as a mixed number. 13 divided by 12 is 1, with 1 left over, and we're dealing with twelfths. And that would be the final answer. We can do the same approach with the next one over. We'll do this one a bit quicker. So again, we need to multiply the denominators. So let's multiply those two numbers. And then we end up with an ungainly, but we're going to use it anyway, 54 as the denominator, because 9 times 6 is 54. So the next step, if you recall, will be 9 times 5, right? And we drop the answer. So 9 times 5, what is that? That's 45. And we do the same with the other one. So it's 6 times 7 is 42, and we drop that answer down. So roughly speaking, the answer is going to be 50/4, and 45 plus 42, right, is 87. 87 over 54, right? Now actually 87 and 54 are both divisible by 3, but we'll take another step instead. 87, divided by 54, that is 1. And how many left over? So 87 minus 54, that's 3, and that's 3, so 33 over 54. This can be divided by 3, and this can be divided by 3. That's kind of hard to see, really, but that becomes 11, and that becomes 18. And so the final answer would be 1 and 11 over 18. If you ended up with 1 and 33 over 54, that is correct, but it isn't as simplified as 1 and 11/18. But this is the best final answer.